What up, though, y'all? So, almost at the end of this series, and now we've talked about what happens, what you should do before, what you should do for the application process, the Zoom interview, the in person, what failure looks like, what letters of support you should have in your back wings. So now let's talk about getting the coveted offer. Okay, let's talk about it. So, what happens is you wait for a while, you don't hear anything, right? It's kind of nerve wracking, honestly. Like there's no way around it. You just kind of have to sit and wait, go about your life, and hopefully you get a email or phone call. But most likely you will get a phone call. You might get an email first saying, "Hey, do you have time to talk?" Call this number, or can I get your number to give you a phone call, right? So you get this phone call, and then they do their whole little spiel as like, hey, we really enjoyed having you with us, blah blah blah. We'd like to extend an offer to you, and blah 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 blah, right? Going a little spiel. So it's kind of there's so many emotions, right? You wanna kind of want to laugh because it's just like, oh shit, like I just made it through this whole process with an offer. Two, you want to cry because it's emotional, right? Like you want to be like, oh my god, like finally, it's a relief, man. It's such a weight lifted off of your back, right? Especially if you get the place that you really wanted to go to, but you should never apply to a place that you would never go to, right? Um, Only apply to places that you would be actually willing to go to. That's, uh, and I talked about that. But so you get this offer, they verbally extend the offer to you. Now I've had to reject one while I was on the phone. That was probably the most adult thing I ever had to do, was reject an offer while I was on the phone, because I already like accepted another offer. But you know those are the things that you have to deal with. So when you get the offer, so you get the verbal, and then they was like, hey, we're going to email you the offer. You look over it, you send back what you want to change, any differences, and then so I know I got like a week, and that's smaller institutions. I'm at an R2, so like I got a week. But with the bigger institutions, it might take a little longer because you're negotiating millions of dollars. So they give you a timeline, but they aren't serious about it. They're not hard set about it, right? Especially at R1. The R1, you can go back and forth for a little while, because you can, especially if you're just doing research, you can come in at any time, really. You don't have to come in when the semester starts because you got to teach and everything like that. You don't have to worry about those things, right? Um, so you have a little bit more time to negotiate those things, right? But you know, you get the offer. It's great stuff. Now comes the part where, hey, you have the offer now. The ball is in your court. You have all the leverage because they want you. So this is what you need to do. Um, when you get the offer, right? They're going to offer you these things. They're going to tell you what your salary is going to be. They're going to tell you what your startup funds are going to be. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So now you have to come back to them and be like, well, these are the things that I want. I want to hire this. I want to hire that. I want this. I want that. Right? I need to make sure that in my contract that this space is allotted to me, and this equipment is allotted to me, or these funds are allotted to me for this reason or that reason. Right? So keep those things in mind. Keep those sorts of things in mind. Right? When you're negotiating your job offer. All right. So, and I give the advice, and I might say this at the end too. I give this advice. They're going to offer you the moon, ask for the stars, and once you get there, collect. Okay? So, and what I mean by this, right, is they're going to be like, oh man, I'm gonna give you this. We're gonna offer you this. We're gonna offer you that. We want you to get this. We want you to get that, right? Um, but make sure it's all in writing, right? So one, certain places you can negotiate your salary. A lot of the time salary is a little iffy just because, especially at an R1, like you can increase the how much they are willing to pay on your salary. So say they was only going to pay 15, you do 30%. I said they're going to cover 30%, and then you have to cover the rest of the 70%, right? There's stuff like that. And then at a teaching intensive institution, they have a little less flexibility to offer you more because everybody usually comes in not well, the salary increases over time, but if you was coming in with the cohort of people, everybody's usually offered the same salary, right? You can try to get some wiggle room, but you never know. So another thing, closed mouths don't get fed. Something my mom always tells me. So make sure that you are asking for it all, right? Because guess what? No matter what you ask for, the worst thing they can do is say no because they still want you to come there. Remember that. They still want you there. All right? So keep those sorts of things in mind. All right? So on top of that, right? So you can negotiate your startup funds. You can ask for more money, right? Be like, oh, I want more money on this, on that. Yeah, I know one of my previous PIs, he got about $5 million, right? And so he probably negotiated from 3 to 5 or something like that, right? So you can negotiate those kinds of things. Now, granted, at bigger institutions, you can negotiate 5 million because you are one paying your own salary, right? And then also you have to pay for personnel, and then you have to pay for what else is there? You have to pay for equipment and the use of the court facilities, right? So keep all those things in mind when you're negotiating, right? Because you can negotiate court facility use. You can negotiate core facility use. For example, I do microscopy, right? And so at a bigger institution, the microscopy unit could cost you about $70 an hour, right? You can negotiate hours, right? Be like, okay, well, coming in, starting off, I want about 100 hours worth of use, right? So you can negotiate things like that, right? So it's not hard. So think about this: it's not hard money. It's about what you get, right? You can negotiate personnel payments, right? Or you can negotiate, say, so I was on a T-32. You can negotiate like, oh, I want an internal T-32 to pay for multiple postdocs. You can do stuff like that, right? It doesn't have to be hard money because this money will offset what you have to pay from your startup. So keep that in mind. So making sure that you ask for it all, no matter how stupid you might think it is or crazy it is, they're going to make a way to get you there. All right. So keep all that in mind. So personnel, core facilities, there's different things. So say like going to conferences, right? How much money are you willing to give me to go to these these conferences? Um, so for example, for an R2, right? When I was doing my negotiations, I asked for a whole lot of things. And one of the things I asked for was a new microscope. I asked for because I was just like, oh, I want to increase my my startup funds, and I couldn't do that. So I was like, okay, well, what about a microscope? Let me get that. And so technically, that microscope cost 38,000 or something. And so it's a small fluorescent microscope that I put in cell culture, right? And technically, that money is kind of allotted to what my a startup or it's added to my startup. So It's not hard money, and you can't think about it that way, right? Because yes, you're going to be starting from scratch with an R1 or R2. You probably won't be starting from scratch as much because they'll provide certain things for you, and then you don't have to worry about personnel costs. You don't have to worry about core facility costs most of the time. So there's a lot of different funds that you don't need to worry about, right? You don't have to worry about paying yourself. So there's a lot of things you don't have to worry about, and these are the differences, right? I'm throwing a lot at you, but there's differences between the two that are important to know. All right, and so and one of the other things is space. Negotiate space. And what I mean by that, negotiate your lab space, negotiate the spaces that you need to use. So, for example, for me in my contract, what I negotiated was I needed ample lab space, I needed ample cell culture space, I needed ample space for minus 20, minus 80 refrigeration, all those things, right? I put all those things in my contract because just in case when I got there, if there was some type of, oh, well, oh man, we're kind of low on space, things are, no, 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 no. Per my contract, legally binding, you need to provide me these things. No matter how you need to make it happen, you need to make it happen. All right. So that's what I mean by when you get there, collect. Make sure the promises that were made, make sure one, you get them all in writing, and two, two, you go in there and you go in there and collect. No matter how you're there now, it's going to be hard to get rid of you, right? It's more expensive to find a new you than it is to just give you what you asked for and what they promised you. Okay, remember that. Don't be scared about that. Don't be scared to ask for what you want. Don't be scared to ask for what you need. Don't be scared. All right. So even when it comes to computing needs, so a lot of the times, so R1s don't uh, give you computing needs, but you can negotiate that, right? You can be like, oh well, I need these things computing wise, right? Or you can be like, well, I need a technology fund for this or for that, right? Especially if you do high throughput data analysis and things like that, right? So for me, I do a lot of data analysis, and I needed workstations for that. And so, and these are the things I asked for. I was like, hey, I need these things called Wacom tablets, where it allows you to kind of circle, and basically it's a drawing tool, but allows the computer that you have to become touchscreen, really. And so you can circle the cells that are in ImageJ or Fiji. So, and those are the things that I asked for, right? So I asked for multiple laptops, multiple tablets to create uh, this workspace that was conducive for me being successful. Okay, so you know, ask for it all. Don't be scared to ask. Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. I negotiated to the last possible moment. Okay. I asked for it all. I had a list. I was like, well, I need these things. It was like, okay, we can give you this. Well, I need this. Well, okay, we can give you that. Well, I need, keep asking. Because guess what? The worst they can say is no. That's the worst they can do. Okay? So when it comes to getting an offer, first, celebrate. You made it. You did it. You got an offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, everything that you work for has come to fruition. Now the real work begins, right? To continue to run your own lab, and we'll talk about that. But also, make sure you have everything you need to be successful, right? Don't go in there thinking, oh man, like I don't know. I was like, oh man, I needed this, I needed that. Oh man, I should have. No, negotiated up front. Say these are the kinds of things that I need, and I even negotiated things that I don't particularly need right now, right? But I put it in my contract. I put it in writing as a, oh well, I had it in writing that says, you guys will be willing to pay for this. All right. I was a little bit of a shark. I can't lie to you. I was a shark when it came to negotiations. All right. So I made sure to get every single penny that I could. So remember that. So be be that shark. Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. And I'll say this one more time before I end this video. They're going to offer you the moon. You ask for the stars. And when you get there, you collect on the promise. I'm Dr. Stevens, aka The Scientist Who Live, and I'll catch you guys next time.